Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal Arguments. It's anecdotally several cities have had major shooting events since Friday, and many you didn't hear about. I'm your host, Jay Fry, and with me is Sean. How is it going, Sean? That's literally been our arrangement for ever.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's fixed now.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Go.
I'm back. And it's Monday. We're here. Wahoo! Technical difficulties.
I just realized I told them this has been our arrangement, but they don't know what our arrangement was because they couldn't hear you.
Right. Yeah.
Man, just
Nothing changes on the computer yet. Sometimes stuff doesn't work. It's fucking wonderful.
I look forward to when I start playing with OBS. What? I was looking at it. I just realized you segregated NPR from legacy media. Why?
Because they're publicly funded, quote unquote.
Readers like you.
Yeah. Well, and dude, you want to talk about a grift? That is one hell of a grift. Do you know how public radio works?
I don't know how radio works.
Well, fair enough. But yeah, both PBS and NPR, so public radio and public television, both have this model where the CPB, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, gets the bulk of the money, produces the most of the shows, and what they do is they charge those independent, quasi-independent stations that do the broadcasting to run their shows. So they're charging the local affiliates to run their show, and then they make the local affiliates basically beg for cash. Meanwhile, they're rolling in dough, and you can see that by the scope creep of every single one of their productions. Remember This Old House? How that started out with Norm and Bob Vila just doing simple fix-it stuff around the house that everybody would probably have to do at some point?
Yeah.
And now it's turned into literal high-end complete rebuilds and remodels with the highest end gear that could possibly be, because all of the sponsors of the show pay the show in goods and services to get their names mentioned. The corporate broadcasting is, subsidized by the government, and then the production companies charge the affiliates for the shows, and those costs keep going up because they're popular shows. So it's a complete grift, and just hurts the local stations more and more every year because they need those popular shows to get viewers. They can't really advertise, and they're forced to basically scrounge and beg. It's a disgusting model.
Yeah, but that's basically how reality TV works.
Yeah,
well, it's the opposite of how reality TV works. You film your season, then you sell your season, but all the costs and everything are on you, the reality show. And then the next year, to get it back and have ratings that would successfully keep the show growing, you have to take everything you invested and more and put it back into the show every year. And then you end up with the same thing as Bob Vila.
Right.
Like that guy who runs around and gives people $100 for answering the question wrong every fucking time. Or Tim Pool flying assholes out to his compound. Good luck not getting swatted when you keep inviting progressives in.
Well, they never show up. I mean, the only one that really has is Vosh.
Well, he's got one today.
Oh, who's that?
Fuck if I know.
Right.
I don't absorb left-wing media.
Tim Pool, left-wing media confirmed.
No, I meant left-wing media, like who he said on. He is a leftist, but it's tolerable leftism. I can't do the cringe stuff.
Yeah, he's rational, so at least there's that.
Yeah. Like him and Joe Rogan are not my guys.
Well,
Robert's my guy.
they're...
Sadly, Shapiro's my guy.
Yeah.
Dude, how do you think I feel? I have to support Michael Knowles.
Yeah. Not my favorite group of guys. I appreciate what they do, but not my favorite guys. I like Joe Rogan 80% of the time, even when he falls into the stupid juice.
Yeah, and then swallows it while trying to get chair. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he's. What I appreciate about people like Tim Pool and Joe Rogan and a lot of these guys is that their lefty politics aside, they're okay with admitting reality and calling a spade a spade.
Well, that's the thing with Jordan Peterson, with Dave Rubin, and who we've already addressed, is you can literally say politics aside. You can't say politics aside with Chunky Yogurt or Anna Cass. Oh God, I hate that bitch. Because they don't do politics aside. They can put the people we're talking about can put their politics aside and say, that kid was just saying they're nervous when that idiot came up on him, and when Meth O'Donnell comes up and starts pounding his drum in your face, you kind of get a little fucking smirk on your head. Bill Whittle. I loved Bill Whittle. I haven't watched him in since Scott Ott got really weird last year. Actually at the beginning of this year, and I can't think of his name, but his band's 20 Pound Sledge. He's been on, and I liked him. I used to watch him as well, but I don't like Steve Green though. Steve Green's a smug little dickhead. But Scott got weird. Bill was still doing great. I just haven't watched him in a minute. Can't think of his name. Do you watch Bill Whittle?
No, I don't even know who that is.
He's a former actor. Yeah, he's a big fly guy. Loves talking about aviation. Damn it, what's Ian? No, his name's not Ian. God, speaking of fucking flighty guys.
Well, I even like listening to Jimmy Dore from time to time. And I don't agree with a lick of his politics, but at least he's capable of, laying out realities. And even if I don't agree with him politically, I can appreciate a guy who can not fake the funk and not drink the woke stupid juice.
No, Fire. The black guy that's on now, or was on for a minute there, with the morals thing they started in February, morals and ethics and whatever. I cannot think of his name. Might go with Blackie McJoggerson. But no, Scott's role was of devil's advocate, and it was always a genuine attempt to be devil's advocate, and then it just kind of came into being it got weird, like his advocacy. He's never been pro-Trump, which is fine. You don't have to be pro-Trump, but you support that Trump was America first, and you don't spend your entire time going, oh, he was so crass. Alfonso Rachel, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. I used to like him. I used to watch him when he was on his own show. He's a little preachy for me, but other than that, he's a good guy. But them together, I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. So it's probably been 4 or 5 months since I've watched Bill Whittle, which is a shame because I like Bill Whittle. I often quote his Bill Whittle has he quoted somebody else and then doubled the number. He says that the media is responsible for the Democrats having a 15-point lead in any given election because of their positive coverage of the Democrat candidate and their negative coverage of the Republican candidate. He said it's a 7 points for the Democrat, but transversely, it is also a 7-point negative for the Republican, meaning it's about 14, 15 points. And that's fucking accurate. And that's why they have such a hard time with Trump. He's not getting positive news. So the 7 points they're hitting on the, for Hillary didn't affect Trump badly. And the 7 points they were slapping against Trump also didn't affect him badly. But, well, we figured out the first thing we talk about is, have you seen The Outlaw Josie Wales? Because I have not.
Long time ago, yes.
Yeah. All right, so we won't talk about that.
No, that was the movie that was on the list the longest that I voted for every week until we finally got it, which was the last week for that list, which blows my mind because it was always the best movie on that entire damn list.
Mm. It's one of the few I haven't seen. I've seen freaking I can't even think of the name of it now. Every Which Way But Loose.
Right Turn.
Oh god, I've seen so many bad Clint Eastwood movies, but I haven't seen The Outlaw Josie Wales. But from what Matt's recommendation,
you should.
I downloaded it.
Yeah. I remember it being a really good movie.
Mm-hmm. Unforgiven was great. In the Line of Fire, I'm like, dude, you're 71. Who are you protecting at this point?
His lawn.
Well, that's 10 years later in Gran Torino. No, 20 years. Good God. So I was talking shit about back when I got my driver's license. It was no longer through the school, and I had to go to. I was like, 26 years ago. Shuck it, Trebek. I feel so fucking old. But Neo's been saying some shit lately. I'm like, I think he might be older than Sean.
What?
I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't the last live stream, but it was 2 live streams ago, and he was saying something. And I was like, dude, you might be the start of Gen Z. Or Gen X. I'm the end of Gen X, but, talking shit.
Everybody likes to move those start and end dates around all over the place. I'm pretty much right in the middle of Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, towards the beginning, but solidly in Gen X.
I barely made Gen X 1980.
Yeah. Some people put it as high as 1984. I'm like, not so much.
Mm-hmm. I think I do make the cut because I was outside of high school when computers started getting prevalent, and cell phones. So I think I do just slide right underneath. And there was still the popular punk scene, and grunge was coming in, but it wasn't. Oh God, I hate grunge. Even though I enjoy grunge music.
I think that's a good cutoff. If you had a cell phone in high school, you were a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have one, you're Gen X. Because I didn't get my first cell phone until I was even out of college.
Oh, it says exennial, analog childhood, digital adulthood. I like that. Yeah. I don't.
No, I like that. We're gonna steal that poet, by the way.
Yeah. We're gonna get it out to our 4 viewers. He's gonna get it out to his 200,000, and we'll see who wins.
Yeah, he
Not
stays
to
out
mention,
of that stuff. I
all
haven't
4
watched
of our viewers are here now.
Yeah, I haven't watched a poet stream in a while. I should probably pull one of those up.
The I have to be in the mood to watch a Western.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's just one of those things. Like I can like pull a musical out of my ass at any given time, but I have to be in the mood to watch a Western.
That's fair. It's kind of like me and war flicks. I don't hate war flicks, but it's just not my go-to. So I got to be in the mood for a war flick.
I'm never alone for a war flick. Just and the love of musicals explains why I am alone. So give or take. Like 2 weeks ago, Stephen and I were talking about musicals, and I'm way more into musicals than he is. And that dude's got a boyfriend. But Matt really sold me on the Outlaw Josie Wales. So either I'm gonna love the hell out of that movie, or someone's getting a strongly worded email.
Oh, it's a good movie. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all.
Damn it.
Not at all.
We'll see. I mean, I always got Birdemic to fall back on if I need to complain. Speaking of, Pterodactyl might beat Birdemic.
Really?
Yeah. There's this whole undercurrent of a hoary neighbor girl for no reason. And I'm like, I appreciate where you're going, but this was on the Sci-Fi Channel, so I'm not seeing her tits. My dad would say it's sadder that I know more musicals than you actually, Stephen. Really different. He was supportive in weird ways. Love that Missouri boat ride. I don't know what the hell that is.
Is that riverboat?
Is it a riverboat in the Outlaw Josie Wales?
No. Not that I know of.
Maybe we're talking about Maverick?
I don't know. Specify, Maynard, because I don't know what that's about.
My grandpa watched Maverick with me the whole time, with this smug smile on his face.
Why? Because he was a fan of the TV show?
Yeah. He knew who James Garner was. The whole time he was like, I felt him being superior. And I'm like, do you have cheese for lunch? Why are you smiling? But love them as yeah. I have no idea what that's about. But I do like James Gardner. I enjoyed him in all his Old Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
More than Walter Matthau, even though Walter Matthau was part of the Jack Lemmon Odd Couple. No, not Jack Lemmon. Damn it, what's his name?
I don't
Who the hell was in Grumpy Old Men with Walter Matthau?
That was Jack Lemmon.
That was yeah, and but Jack Lemmon was also with James Gardner in that President's movie, the ex-presidents.
I may have seen that.
My Fellow Americans? I think My Fellow Americans is what it was.
That sounds somewhat familiar.
I could just be lying to you. You just gulp it up because you poor ignorant bastard. Walter Matthau was Mr. Wilson, and Dennis the Menace was atrocious.
Yeah, well, that was a made for kids money grab is what that was. So it's not like it was a major thespian outing.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was. Oh, John Hurd. It was some. Uh, Former presidents were Jack Lemmon and James Gardner, and the current president was Dan Aykroyd.
That's not possible. Dan Aykroyd is Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, they're mad how bad he's with. Yeah, he is a grumpy bastard, so he does well with Jack Lemmon. Oh god, Jack Lemmon was so fucking mouthy too. It's good. It's man, I loved An American President, which is sucks because of Rob Reiner.
I hate Meathead, but he does. He is a good producer and he is a good actor in some regards as well. But yeah, he's just a shitty human being.
He's a good director.
He is a good director.
The Richard Dreyfuss as Dick Cheney. It wasn't his name, but he was just fucking 100% channeling Dick Cheney. There just be pictures of him being a dick on stage. You can just tell he's thinking Halliburton. Mater, what the hell are you talking about? You even put a scope on. What is... Yeah, I need to see a little less Hugh Jackman in my Mamma Mia's and my Miserables and my Greatest Showmans and
well, he's the
dude's
closest,
all over the place.
He's the closest thing that we have currently to a triple threat.
Oh no, there's Betty White. Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone, but no. Ryan Reynolds is. Can
he sing?
He can sing. You never heard him scale?
No, not that I can recall.
No. There's this god awful him doing the scales of I could be purple, I could be blue, I could whatever the scale is, but Hugh Jackman, I really wouldn't say he can sing.
Not the best, but he gives it a try. You know who is actually a triple threat that nobody gives him any credit for is Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he is, but I don't know about not getting credit for it. Everybody he gets as much credit as South Park guys.
Well, see, that's the problem is everybody knows Seth MacFarlane for Family Guy and hopefully soon the Orville, but he's a legitimate crooner and can dance. I mean, he is a showman.
Mm. Well, there was a Repo, a Genetic Opera came out, and their casting went just oddball as shit. They had an actual Anthony Stewart Head, who has put out a couple of musical CDs. He played Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. Not to be confused with Donald fucking Sutherland. I don't know why I got that specific on you. But he wasn't Giles anyways. His name was Merrick or something like that in the movie. Paris Hilton. Bill Moseley. And that little, well, she's not a little girl, she's an adult now. The girl from Spy Kids. It was like that was a very surprising, a well casted surprise for a musical, and they all did a very good job. referencing as the lowest form of art. I believe that's mockery and wit.
Aw, those are the only two I'm good at. No, I think that there's so many remakes as Hollywood won't take a gamble on anything
Yeah,
untested.
I mean, I all right. I used to be very novice as far as Hollywood went until I saw this little movie. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's called Three Amigos. And well, basically the thing about the Three Amigos is it takes place very early on in the I don't know, turn of centuries. I think it takes 40s or 50s,
I think it's set in the
30s.
30s or 40s. Yeah,
I think they were Nazis. Wasn't there Nazis?
I, I
There's
don't
definitely
remember.
Germans. I remember a biplane. But anyway, so 30s, 40s, 50s, Nazis. Was there a plethora of Nazis?
Hey, play it.
God, I fucking love plethora. Uh, but they talked a little bit about the how it used to be organized, and you would have like a 6-film series at one studio, and kind of Marvel brought it back with the sign on to do 6 films in a sequence within the Marvel movie sphere. And the same thing back in the 70s when you used to have Battle of the Network Stars. I kind of got interested in that and did some research and reading up on how they used to be done. And it was just you hired writers and they cranked out bullshit. So I do think now with the buying of access to and buying of turning scripts from books into scripts and the selling of scripts and the people wanting to actually be involved in Hollywood, there is the largest pool of talent that there's ever been. Because while not everyone is a singer, a dancer, and an actor, the actors can act. Our singers can sing. Whitney Houston was fucking excellent in Bodyguard, or Tina Turner in
Beyond Thunderdome.
You didn't like Tina Turner in Beyond Thunderdome?
I love Beyond Thunderdome, but I can't
Yeah.
say that's because of Tina Turner.
She held up her end.
She did. She did.
Yeah. You know. Gwyneth Paltrow, I do not like her, but she did a great job in the episode of Glee she was on. And then you have your unfortunates, like your excellent singers who were giants in the industry at the time, like Britney Spears, who can't act to save her life. Or you got Will Smith or Jamie Foxx or other black leads, which are black and athletes.
Yeah, but I mean,
No,
Will
Tina
S-
Turner was the other one. She wasn't Master Blaster, different person, I think.
yeah, she was a different person. Master Blaster
I think
was
she
in the first
I
one.
think she wrote on the back of Master.
Or no, he was in Beyond Thunderdome. Master Blaster was in Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He was the hey you guys. But yeah, but the whole thing, Hollywood, and almost every form of entertainment is money laundering, really. Art, music, all of it. And if you listen to Kayla Jones, Kaya Jones. Also, sex trafficking and prostitution.
I mean, well, that's been the all but confirmed secret for my entire life about Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. But she confirmed it.
Right.
So you've got the Hunter Bidens of the art world, where everybody involved is just lying their asses off the entire time the price inflates. Tina Turner ran Bordertown. But she, Kayla, is the one who won the contest as a pussycat doll, and she was not a happy camper when she found out what it really entailed. Which explains why Kirk Cameron got out of the business early. No, I don't know about that. But the art world lies about the price of art, sells it for an exorbitant fee, insures it for an exorbitant fee, and either sells it or loses it for an exorbitant fee. And you're just creating money out of nothing. And the same with most forms of entertainment. Like who's buying and selling and trading and insuring. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So they're caught up in covering their asses and paying for the child brides and kitty diddlers that they can't afford to risk a venture by lashing out and dropping their $3 million to get back $30 million because they're idiots. But on occasion, you get that gem like Big Trouble in Little China that costs $3 million to make and brings in $2 million.
Yeah, but even that had its problems. Carpenter was really pissed off with the studios on that one because they didn't know how to market the movie, so it was a flop at the box office.
Well, there's a lot like that. Poison Ivy was an example of that. Golden Child was an example. You just like starring Eddie Murphy. Oh, I'm gonna watch a Golden Child. That's a pretty good movie. But everything they're doing is wrong. The director who wrote the movie needs to direct and create the trailer for the movie. Like I can't tell you how many times I've seen all the good parts of a movie in the trailer.
Right.
Like this should have been thrown away earlier. Just never should have made it here. And vice versa, not seeing anything that was good about it. Like, I was surprised, spoiler alert, coming up, I was surprised that they managed to keep Mechagodzilla hidden in the new King Kong versus Godzilla. Or Godzilla versus King Kong, whatever it's called.
Right, but even that's a tried and true franchise.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, I was surprised that they kept it hidden. Like, I don't know how they got it past where they didn't, like, every scene wasn't the fucking Mechagodzilla, even though he was only in it for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it's obnoxious, it's annoying, I don't like it, and there's far too many perverts, and it's a tried and true thing. They've got attractive people with a modicum of talent, and they're manipulating them to be progressives because they have a personal guilt over making so much money over such a minute talent. Like, an actress should not make more than a teacher. There's no sway for it, especially when you can act once and it be played over 30,000 screens. It's obscene. the prices that they're making.
Well, I mean, the same could and has been said about sports.
Absolutely, they play one game seen by 40 million people. You want to throw in 2 cents a person for each member of the team? Sure, why not? Whatever. They should be making profits. Like their clothes, that should be their profits. But signing them on for a $30 million 3-year deal, it's a oopsie. But because it makes a monicum of money, they're going to spend the money because egos get involved, and then everyone has to fuck things up for everybody else. Everything that has those high of prices on it are by its very nature already corrupted.
Well, with sports, it's a little bit different than Hollywood because with sports, you've got to perform for a season, more or less, every year. You've got to continually do it. You've got to continually practice and do it. And originally, you go to those games, the people pay to go to those games. And what happens is there's an escalation of exclusivity. So many people want to go watch these things that in order to accommodate those prices inflate so that there's, you have to be of means to go see a lot of these things. Like when I go to see a hockey game, I really like sitting in the lower deck. I would prefer not to sit in the upper deck like ever, but in order to go sit in the lower deck, with my family, I'm spending $300-400 a game.
Oh, fuck that! I'm having favorite children.
So we don't go to many games because of that. Whereas when I was a single dude, and if they had built a stadium on the right side of town, which they're finally moving over to the right side of town here, supposedly next season, I was going to be a season ticket holder because I love hockey that much. And for a single ticket or even a pair of tickets, I could probably afford to do that, but not for the whole family,
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're paying for exclusivity and on a reoccurring event. Hollywood is just mass consumption of a single product, which is a little different, but whatever.
Yeah. You don't have to tell me about exclusivity. I used to buy super chats in Beauty and the Beta. And they got to be $10, and I just couldn't afford that exclusivity anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at YouTube, it's kind of following the same model.
No. Spotify is, but not YouTube. Like, YouTube will give me 3 cents on a 1,000 views. The same as they'll give Matt 3 cents on 1,000 views.
Right, but that's not how YouTubers are making money. They're not making money from YouTube. They're making money from the monetization that we don't have. But
well, yeah, that's the 3 cents. That's the 3 cents.
Well, no, again, I'm talking the monetization where they can get super chats. Like we can't even get super chats, so it's not even an option for us because we just don't have the views, and you have to meet a certain threshold to get AdSense, and that's when you can get the super chats. Now, I could probably set up a Streamlabs, but I don't want to take our 5 fans' money when they have better places to spend it. But yeah, YouTubers aren't making money directly from, well, some are, but mostly their money is coming from direct support from fans via super chats or donations or anything off site of YouTube outside of super chats.
Yeah. Okay. So I was watching a YouTube video on how to get your name out there. So you all right. So it's for 2 fans, but since there's 4 of you here, I can explain it easier. So usually you get 2 people, and then you explain to them that they go out and okay. So for the 4 of you, if you 4 go out and bring back 43,000 people each, I think I might be escalating a little here, but I think it's how it works. So, and then they bring 43,100 people each. No, that seems like a lot. Maybe it's 2 people. Maybe I'm getting greedy. we will not have anecdotal argument merch. because we can't afford to pay Steven's $5 fee.
Yeah, let alone the production costs for the 2 units we'll move.
Which, ironically, are going to both be from Steven anyway. So it's just...
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not making it himself. What? I didn't realize there's a film where there's a young Reese Witherspoon screaming the worst racial epithets at a black policeman while beating him silly. Is this Freeway? What the shit? I don't know what tangent you're off on, but include me, Maynard. Also, I wasn't thinking Reese Witherspoon. I was thinking who's the chick from Crazy? Alicia Silverstone. That's what I was thinking of. Silverstone, Witherspoon, close enough.
Yeah, they're kind of interchangeable.
Blondes, yeah. We had the shootings to talk about. We off on a Hollywood tangent. Oddly, that wasn't specifically to something I had recently watched. So we had the shooting in California at the Korean Taiwanese Presbyterian Church there. The shooting in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Well,
there was a shooting in Milwaukee on Friday before the one in Buffalo.
Well, that's just like you can just assume there was a shooting over the weekend in Chicago as well.
Well, there was that too, and then there was, I think there was like a mini riot in L.A. as well.
I don't think I heard anything about this Milwaukee one.
Yeah, it was like three separate shooting incidents, 21 people wounded. I don't know if anybody died. But yeah, like 21 people got shot in Milwaukee in 3 separate shooting incidents after a Bucks game.
Steven's getting sassy with his fees. Well, I see now. Yeah, you keep pumping up your rates. But you realize I pass my product price on to the customer, and that's you. So, enjoy it. I think the only one that anybody actually cares about, the media, is that white fella over there in Buffalo.
Right, because it fits their narrative.
Who had 0 original thoughts in his head and just ripped off the Christchurch shooting.
Pretty much.
In every aspect possible. He even put the names of Waukesha victims on the barrel of his AR. He chose the AR that he did based on the media's dislike of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was the Bushmaster used in Sandy Hook. That is how I would do things if I was a piece of shit leftist. Like, if you're one of those assholes who are out there running for the sake of running to stir the pot instead of actually get elected, do not run as a Republican Nazi. Run as a Democrat Nazi. Thank you for your time. Please come back to my next TED Talk.
Yeah.
Which will be soon. But yeah, I've been shouting that for 6 years now. Jesus.
Yeah.
Nothing new or relevant came out. The guy's racism was just so off in his racism. Like, there are people you can call invader and there's an argument for and against it. The blacks are one of them. Like it's not like the Nigerians that invaded um, Ukraine to get their doctor's degrees at like unreasonable prices and were raising hell about getting out of there when the war started. Like the white people forced them to come here. Like even the racists will admit that. They'll say that shit like you gotta go back, but they don't count them as invaders. And they did have a nice little attack on the Jews that was a little more understanding. But how do you blame the blacks for them being here? You can call for separation, sure, but to actually blame them for being at the location, that's just a level of racism that I'm not familiar with.
That's the thing, though, is that the press is going to run with that narrative because that fits their narrative. What this really was is just some fucking douchebag that wanted to be famous.
Former commie douchebag, so yeah, I don't think he really embraced the things he was trying to embrace to get to where he got.
Right. He was literally playing a role to get famous.
Real white supremacists don't shoot white people when they're killing black people. Looking at you, successful David Ruth. Or that guy who was not 175 pounds from the subway a couple months ago. Black supremacists managed to shoot 0 blacks.
Well, he didn't shoot. Well, I mean, he shot. He didn't kill anybody.
No. But he had a 38. You can calm down. My favorite is the Pulse nightclub shooter who apologized to the black guys he shot. Like he didn't intentionally shoot them, but he caught literally there's a story of him apologizing to one of the black guys he shot in the leg, which was a through and through, or a miss and a hit. He's like, I'm so sorry. I know how oppressed you people, huh? Like, you're the worst gay. Okay. But just absolute nonsense, and the media is absolutely in love with it. It's been the best thing to happen to them since Charlottesville.
Right. Well, and it gets them to not have to talk about the utter failure of the administration. It gives them something to not have to constantly cover the inflation and gas prices and for some reason infant formula shortage and
transfer of wealth to Congress.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the fact that Ukraine right now is just a blatant fucking money laundering operation.
Which Tim and Jack are absolutely not saying, but Cerno is. So I dislike Cerno more than both Tim and Jack, but he gets credit for that.
I don't like Cerno at all.
He's the one talking about it, money laundering.
Yeah, well, I mean, douchebags can be right too. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's such a douchebag.
But I mean, as much as I do like Poso, he is a Fed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know that, then you're not paying attention.
Or also a Fed.
That too. But then you would know, and you would just be lying about it.
Weird, he never mentioned anything all those times we had lunch at work together in the federal building.
Joe Rogan was talking about, the actual existence of groomers, and that's what sent Chunk Yogurt off.
Oh my god. If any of you trannies out there fuck Joe Rogan and or we're fucked by Joe Rogan,
call me.
I am up extra late. The later the better.
Well, I think we're at the point where Cenk is losing the plot because he's losing viewership, and no, he's not providing any usable red meat to anybody. So he's just got to make shit up. I mean, he's lucky that Anna blew up about Democrats not actually caring about the people they said they care about, which everybody on our side of the aisle is like,
yeah,
duh. We've been trying to tell you that for, I don't know, 20, 30 years.
First time, Anna?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all well and good that you want to believe in that shit, but we've known they've been full of shit for years, and that's, I mean, it's kind of like why I like Jimmy Dore.
I don't like Jimmy Dore.
Well, I mean, I don't like his politics, and I think he's, deluding himself that any of that shit would actually ever work, because it can't, but at least he calls it out for what it is.
I don't watch him, so
He's an angry little man.
There's some issues. I watched a video the other day at a Trump rally where a Trump supporter with she had a microphone and everything. She went over and talked to a black man and asked like what he thought would happen if he went over to the Trump side, and then she proved him wrong by inviting him over, and they just embraced him and loved him and everything. And I'm like, of course the fucking Republicans would make him their king. He's black. That's all they need at that point. Like, Candace Owens has been here for half a fucking decade now, just because she's black. She makes that right owning, and it's all we need of her. I'm sorry if I hate you as a race. I'm not going to hang out with you in a group. That's how that works. Like, if there is a part of my group that is racist, my group will ignore the shit out of you, which means we will not hang out with you. We won't say anything to you. We won't do anything to you. We don't like you. That's all the left has, is doing things and saying things to the ones they don't like. It's quite the opposite of how somebody civilized should act towards a group they hate, and the uncivilized towards a group they hate. If there's a group we hate. I'm not saying I'm racist, but those fucking Mexicans. The Dutch.
There's just reason enough to hate people on an individual basis. You don't need to fall into the groupthink.
Oh yeah, like I'm sorry, white nationalists. Everyone I hate is white.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I don't like the coloreds or whatever, but I hate the white people. That like I live in a white bastion. Everyone here is white. Everyone I have a problem with is white. Like, until we get them under control, I'm not joining up in a race war. Because then I have to worry about my sides as well as what's in front of me. Like, until we get those people under control, I'm not white netting anything. But there's a certain amount of ignorance that is involved with just a general hatred for a group. Like, without any sort of, like, have you even met a Jew? Wonderful people. Evil, wonderful people. It is hard to not flip out a little bit when, at the same time, they're Jews writing about Charlottesville and this whole idea of replacement, while the Anne Frank Museum is putting up pictures, we will replace you. And Jennifer Rubin laughing about the idea of replacement while enforcing the idea of replacement. It's like, just somebody get on the same page and not everyone be a piece of shit at the same time. Blood and soil. Dear God. Quit trying to blood and soil a melting pot. It's not going to work, people.
Right. Well, and we used to all agree on a couple of things that we no longer agree on, so.
Yeah, because we got a Department of Education and a activist Supreme Court where they found things in penumbras.
I just want to go back to the America of the 90s where everybody just kind of agreed that you do your own thing and you leave other people alone for the most part.
I can't support that because that's what got us here.
No, that was the pinnacle, and it's fallen off because there was too much tolerance of giving everybody, weighing ideas equally. All ideas are not equal. Some are
But all
good, some are
ideas should be
bad,
heard.
some are indifferent. And when you have to pretend like bad ideas are good ideas for tolerance, that's detrimental to everybody.
But I'm a Republican. I am from the party of lame ideas. The only problem is, while they are the lame ideas, they are the most useful idea.
You don't have to be Republican. You don't have to put yourself in that group. All you have to be is anti-democrat.
I'm anti-abortion. Is that close enough for me?
Sure.
No, what I'm saying is, the reason for the free speech is because the ideas that should be done suck. But you need to let the people with the ideas that sound good talk about their ideas so you can hear how bad they actually are.
Right. The problem is we've gone from listening to those bad ideas to actually enacting those bad ideas.
Because no one's allowed to talk about those bad ideas anymore. Like, all right, welcome to my party. We will be spending the first 2 minutes. Everybody pick up your glass and write your name on your cup so that you do not confuse your cup with somebody else. That's a boring as fuck idea. But after you've gotten your second, you pick up a cup and it's got cigarette butts in it because you're mistakenly grabbing the wrong cup. It seems like it was a good idea. It's not fun, but it's a good thing to have.
Right.
And that's a minimalist 10-second thing. That's not like wouldn't it just be great if everybody could love whoever they loved and there were no consequences for getting knocked out? There is one thing you do to have a baby. You don't microwave a burrito and accidentally get a baby. You know, you don't start making sourdough and have a baby. In fact, it's pretty hard to have sourdough. Sometimes it's pretty hard to have a baby. But there's one set of actions, and you don't even want to be responsible for that. Yeah. People are sick.
Yep.
And the idea that it's better off to kill them than like, good Lord. Or adopted children. Might as well murder them. Their life's so difficult. That is just...
Dude, mine turned out pretty darn good.
That's obscene, sir. You take that back.
Well, it did. I mean, I'm lucky I got the chance.
Yeah. And all these fucking crazy people like Patricia Arquette, who are out there committing late-stage suicide. Because their poor mothers were forced to have them. That's just nonsense. No, that's a roasted chicken. That's a that's been around since the LSD days, not the crystal meth and angel dust days. Oh, that poor babysitter. She'll never be right again. That's right up there with that taking your dog on a walk in Chinatown, and the waiter takes the dog away while you have dinner, and then they serve you the check with the dog tag
Oof.
of your beloved dog that you ate for dinner. I just and too many people are like, "Oh, progressives," or "Oh, liberals." It's not the liberals that are the issue; it's the progressives that are the issue.
Yeah.
That and those fence sitting, you don't have to be Republican guys. They're the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, the conservatives, god awful conservatives.
Yeah, well, and again, when it comes to you say you're a Republican, I'm like, oh, the Republicans suck. I'm kind of with Tim Pool on this one. The Republicans suck. They do. They
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
do. They just suck less than the alternative.
hmm and it's not that like we got some good ones out there
Rand
that are
Paul.
currently being stripped of their positions and their titles and everything.
Got like Marjorie Taylor Greene,
hmm Who
Lauren
just had
Boebert.
to compete? Did you see her any of her court case?
No, I couldn't be bothered.
They
It's to
literally.
me, it's pathetic that it even made it to court. Number one, but I'm very glad she won.
Yeah.
But it's just sad that it got there. And if you take a look at it from a 30,000 foot view, the fact that that even happened should be grossly problematic to anybody with core American values of what you can, even if you don't agree with her, you can tolerate a fool. I mean, we have to tolerate fools like AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib all the time, and nobody's out there trying to not let them run. It just the scales are so tipped in one direction that it's disgusting. It's un-American, and let's have a war.
Let's have a war already.
Give guns to the
Fucking ultra
queers.
mega.
Give guns to the queers.
Yeah, we've been having protests in Knoxville about um, like these pro-abortion people, and seeing them wigging out and crying as they get dragged away has been freaking
Oh, we
hilarious.
had one of those apparently this weekend downtown Phoenix. I was not here, but um, apparently that happened in downtown Phoenix. Some choice clips from that are floating around on Twitter.
Mhm. Yeah. So the name of the group that was um, attempting to get Marjorie Taylor Greene banned was called. Hold on a second. They have the stupidest name. I gotta find it here real quick. 5 voters from Green's district in March filed a complaint with Secretary of State. They alleged significant role in January 6th attack.
Which should not even be something anybody is talking about anymore, given that we now see people protesting and harassing Supreme Court justices at their houses.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck these people. Actually, don't. They'll just kill the kid.
Mm. The voters are represented by Free Speech for People. Free Speech for People, a national election and campaign finance reform group.
Just the sheer duplicitousness of the name alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right up there with the Patriot Act.
Well, like the same thing happened with there was far more love for Sarah Palin than there was John McCain. So not only did the left attack Sarah Palin, John McCain attacked Sarah Palin.
John McCain was never a Republican. He was never on the right. He is the embodiment of what the Mono Party is.
Yeah.
He was a carpetbagger here, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how the Utah carpetbagger's doing. I can't believe I that fucker either.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess he does qualify as a carpetbagger, but he is just in the homeland, really. And you want to talk about a pool of fucking rhinos, Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
They make fantastic neighbors, don't get me wrong.
Well,
there's
the difference between the neighbors and the leadership.
Well, yeah, except that the neighbors blindly follow that leadership because it's a goddamn cult. And I love my Mormon friends, I really do. They're wonderful, good, kind people in their core.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, their leadership is corrupt and full of shit, and pulling a snow job on them. And I feel bad for them, but they're adults for the most part. They can choose their own way, but I wish that they would get over the rhino nonsense and see Mitt for the Mono Party fool that he is, as well as the aristocracy that they've self-imposed.
Maynard, back before John McCain died, I was doing a podcast with a buddy of mine who's a white nationalist, fucking racist piece of shit guy, and he goes, we were talking shit about John McCain. He goes, hey, stop it. There's something I like about John McCain, and it's growing bigger every day. And I was like, oh jeez, that's dark to do it with I like John McCain's tumor. Something I like about John McCain. It's growing bigger every day. Yeah. If it wasn't for the loss of John McCain, the ACA would have been defeated in the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm. Should have had McSally.
Well, we wouldn't have McSally. Well, we would have McSally if she was put in, but she wouldn't have stayed because she's fucking useless as well.
Well, and
like, you have military service. How do you suck this badly? You were like a grunt. You were smart enough to be a pilot.
I can't think of who they put in when McCain died. He said he was only going to serve out the year. Or was that for Flake? Speaking of corrupt fucking Mono Party Mormons, fucking Jeff Flake. I still need to fix his nose for him. Goddamn sucker.
He is fucking awful.
Was it Matt Salmon? No, it wasn't Matt. Was it Matt
No,
Salmon? It was old guy.
Yeah, the former senator.
Right. It's not DeConcini. Who the hell it was? I can't think of the dude's name. It just.
Was it John Kyle?
John Kyle. That's who it was. Yeah. Also,
which is who he took it from, right?
Flake replaced Kyle because Flake was a representative for a long time, and then when Kyle wanted to retire, he pushed for Flake, and Flake took his position. But John Kyle also Mormon, but not nearly as stupid and impulsive and self-righteous as Flake was.
Oh god, that is dark, Maynard. That's so fucking dark.
Yeah, well, he's not wrong.
That's not saying you were accurate. Just call it dark.
Yeah, it's dark, but it is what it is. And now because of that nonsense, we have Cinema, who ain't great, but is luckily not full blown terrible. And then Mark Kelly, who is basically a ghost, except for his radio commercials, which are fucking everywhere.
Where's my bike? I think that joke was so dark it took my bike.
Wow.
Just atrocious. Poor Arizona.
Well, and this is the monoparty nonsense that's infiltrated the local GOP and the local Democratic Party. Not to mention all of the California money from California Democrats coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a rotten borough, to say the least.
Yeah, we got some shenanigans going on here in Tennessee. We have what's his nugget? Tim's always talking about Joey Starbuck or whatever the fuck. They're pulling shenanigans to get him to not be primary. Oh, sorry, put in the primary because he's a America First guy.
Which I don't understand the resistance to America First. I really don't understand it.
It's not uniparty first.
That's fair, but I mean, even if you're monoparty, why wouldn't you embrace it to win the elections? I mean, that McCain did, basically. He was a Republican every 4 years or 6 years when it mattered. Mm-hmm. You know, he made a big show of it the full year in the run up to his reelection. And then outside of that, did his own thing. But I mean, we did get some decent shit out of McCain. I mean, certainly better than Cinema.
We didn't get decent shit in 2008 from McCain. That's for damn sure.
Well, and I think that they ran him knowing he wasn't going to win.
Yeah, and they took somebody who had real favorability and drove her into the ground. Like, all right, at no point am I claiming Sarah Palin is an intellectual powerhouse. There's very few intelligent people in government. You've got the Ron
Paul.
Rand was old enough to, or was smart enough to become a doctor. Good for him. You have genuinely smart people like Tom Massey, Ben Carson, actually intelligent people. I cannot think of somebody I would qualify on the left as a intelligent person. Conniving, vicious, spineless, but not actually intelligent. Chuck Schumer cannot stop conflating election with erection to save his life. He's just been there for so long. And he's part of that certain group of people that are supposed to be 10 degrees smarter than everybody else. Just fucking idiot. Obama could have been an intelligent person.
I think he is I do think he is an intelligent person, but he is wholly corrupted by fame and narcissism.
I think if he was, he probably would have had at least a couple of actual reviews in the Harvard Law Review. I think it's just good posturing. Because when you put him one-on-one with people, he still put his foot in his mouth the entire time. He didn't even come off better against Joe the plumber. And that guy was a plumber named Joe.
Yeah, I'm reaching deep to think of anybody that's on the. Well, Mansion isn't stupid.
I really don't count him. he, he's a West Virginian Democrat. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like 30 years ago, I wouldn't have counted a Democrat in Texas. You know, like Gabby is not stupid, but she's also not in Congress anymore.
Well, she's not real sharp anymore.
Gabby's not? Gabby Gifford?
Dude, she
No, just kidding.
lost some brain matter.
No, I meant Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't she married to a Kelly?
She is married to Mark Kelly.
Yeah. I wasn't sure.
Which is why he ran here. He's not from here. I don't think he lives here.
That's fucked up.
I mean, I'm sure they have a house here, but I don't think it's occupied.
I mean, Glenn Jacobs is a international wrestler. Travels all over the world. He could have his house anywhere, but he chose to station himself in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that was a strong selling point for him. I could have picked anywhere. I picked here. And he's been here for over a decade. He's had his I meant Tulsi Gabbard, but I said Gabby instead of Gabbard. So that was my fault for misleading. But the
when do you think she switches parties and becomes a Republican?
She won't. At least while her dad's alive. But I don't know. She might. She's got some pretty bad takes from her dad's time as in Hawaii. She's got like a couple of takes of her doing election type stuff for him. Like she's actually like on the in the lead on a couple of his campaigns, where she's like, marriages between a man and a woman. Like, whoops, that changed recently, I believe. Yeah, I think she's done with politics. She's collecting her full fucking paycheck and can do whatever she wants now, and she doesn't have to deal with the bullshit.
I don't know. She's out there a lot on TV, especially on Fox News. A lot.
Well, yeah, but it's the prestige of the Fox News spot now more than it was the prestige. She already has it. There's no going back. She's already was a congresswoman.
Right. Well, and what gets me is that she was legitimately the best candidate for the Dems.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
which is why
they were so out of their own minds that they couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, if there's a thick enough foundation, I'm all about Tulsi Gabbard. But I felt she was fairly original with her statements and positions. Like, I feel Eric Swalwell is disingenuous. I don't feel that about AOC, that idiot. So like you can get a sense of it, and there are people who are pretending to be a decent person, and it just doesn't transfer right, like Swalwell or
Schiff,
shit Omar, yeah. Um,
Ted Lieu,
oh god, yeah.
Mason
And then
Verano.
there's yeah, like, and then you can just feel the easy people, evil people like Corona, who's just evil and stupid. And then there's just Hank Johnson levels of dumb. Guam tipping over levels of dumb. Sheila Jackson Lee levels of dumb. Or the rare evil and dumb that is um oh, who's in charge of Compton with the
I don't think she's burnt Maynard. I mean, Joe Biden ran like 6 times, and look where he is now.
yeah,
Hell,
but
and he ran in '88 and got caught red-handed for plagiarism, and it didn't stop him. She can come back.
Not Sheila Jackson Lee. Who the hell am I thinking of?
Sheila Jackson Lee's the one with the cowboy hat, right?
Yeah. She's an idiot. She talked a lot of shit about the moon once, and they called her back like, if you print any of this, you're racist. She said, get them at the gasoline station. I can't think of her name.
That's Auntie Maxine. Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters. Thank you. Black is black. But like I feel the evilness or the disingenuousness or the just the blatant stupidity. Like AOC is not evil, she's stupid.
Right.
But Maxine Waters is both.
Well, and if you look at it, it's the ones from California. The ones from California are the ones that are so steeped in corruption and disingenuousness and all of that stuff that almost to a person of the delegation from California, they're the evil ones. They're the evil, conniving, corrupt ones.
We have that in Detroit
AOC,
too.
I don't think AOC's corrupt yet, but yeah, she's just idealistic and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
With a nice rack, which is why she got elected.
Mm-hmm. But there's a certain amount of playing the game too, so you have to like, oh, that was bad. But she might have been playing the game at this point for something later on. Just make sure Jay Fry knows that I was referring to covering the acne scars. But yeah, I knew that. Yeah. Oh, burnt now? Was that a reference to her being a darkie? Jesus, Maynard. No, that's just called powder. That's not called foundation. But yeah, she needs the.
She's not dark. She's Hawaiian, so she's tan.
Well, no, because he said she's burnt now, but then she made the foundation. Yeah, she's got the pot marks. Did she? Did she support Biden?
When she dropped out? Because she's a Democrat. They all did. She wasn't happy about it, but she towed the line because that's what you do.
Poor Bernie.
She was just anti-Trump, and she's probably still is anti-Trump. I don't think she's anti-America first, but she's anti-Donald Trump.
My aunt's anti-Donald Trump.
And we just need to get over this cult of personality nonsense because, yeah, Donald Trump's an asshole. So what? The policies were good. The country was run well for 3 of the 4 years. Exceedingly well for 3 of the 4 years. Everybody was doing really well. You know?
Something in my... Damn it. Yeah, like I'll take Rosie O'Donnell's a fat pig every 6 months if I get...
Good policy.
Yeah, and there was efforts there, and I need people to look at the actions, not the words. But you're focusing on the words because you don't like where the words are coming from. And I try to separate that. Like, I don't know, it was like 2, 3 years ago. I think it was Sarah Silverman said this absolutely stupid thing about the military being on her side if something happened. And I was like, oh, you fucking dummy. The military would be on our side. And I was like, wait, am I assuming that I'm in the right here, like stupid Sarah Silverman, or am I in the right here? So I have to stop and think about it. And then remember Sarah Silverman's an idiot, and I'm on the right here. But it's not that easy. There are aspects of the military where she could point to and say, those are my guys. And she's right, and they're called the brass. However, everybody else will be on my side. And I honestly think my side, Ian, go fuck yourself, is the only side that stops and actually thinks about those kinds of things. I enjoy having a little bit of stretch of my my mind to, you know, test my arguments and see where my flaws are and what I have to work on and what I can do better. And that's Josh and I were talking earlier. He did a a training program for his birthday. He bought himself some shoot house training.
Right.
And he said he learned a new way to clear rooms. So I said, so did I. You go first. And he explained the pie slicing and having somebody at a lower level and them cross checking each other and keeping themselves in lines. And I said, my way to clean out a room or clear a room is saying if you're pro-life, you're pro-rapist. I was like, that'll clear out a room fairly easily. They're not looking for dialogue. They just want to hurt you and shut you up. That's the whole... I, as a racist, am not offended when you call me a racist because I know I'm a racist. I'm not, how dare you sully the sanctity of my pure white race, racist, but there is a level of because you're so stupid, I can't not say things like men and women are equal, but they're not the same. You know, at no point am I so blindly for equality that I want the 123-pound fire woman to rescue me from the burning building instead of the 220-pound rock-looking motherfucker that was also on the same fire truck as she was.
Right.
But they're just... Those two are the exact same. They can do all the same things. No, they cannot.
No, one person can do more.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We need to get to the point where, yes, I'm not against women being fire people, firemen, firewomen, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They can wield a hose and put out a fire. But yeah, the rescue guy is going to be a guy because he needs to, fireman carry somebody that's 200 pounds.
Yeah, you don't send the rock up onto a third floor of a burning building to grab a baby. You could send the 120-pound girl to grab a 7-pound baby.
Right.
And that's probably better for the floorboards.
Right. But if there's a 200-pound man up there who's passed out because he's inhaled a bunch of smoke and can't function, you need the 200-pound plus dude to go in there and fireman carry his ass out.
Yeah, you send in Batista, you don't send in fucking Rocket Raccoon.
Right. And that's just we need to return to practicality because we can pay equality lip service all we want, but equality is a pipe dream, and equity even more so. Equity is actually damaging, but equality is itself is a pipe dream. People are not equal. They should be treated equally under the law, but outside of that, people have different abilities and different strengths.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a very minimal difference between a bricklayer who is a 105-pound Kim Basinger and a Michael Keaton 170-pound bricklayer.
Right.
Now, if you're hauling shingles to the top of a roof, there's much more of a difference. But if you're getting bricks delivered to you that you're placing in a line, and the max you're lifting is the 6 pounds, equality all day long. In fact, probably pick the chick because she's going to smell better at the end of the day. But I'm not placing Betsy Ross up against Mark Henry or John Henry if we're competing against the steam powered engine thingy for brick breaking. Just stupid. Just so fucking stupid. So I challenge myself when I come across those kinds of things. Yeah, the brass will go to the left, but everybody who carries a gun is on my side.
Well, it's concerning to me that the brass are, and it seems to be the top brass that are too far to the left, too far into that sort of thing.
The NCOs are on my side.
Right. But the problem is that they will still obey orders. Because that's
up to a certain point.
Up to a certain point, correct. But as we can see, that those lines, we don't want to test those lines.
No. The real concern is
we get Kent State if we test those lines.
No, we get the opposite of that. We get what just happened, where we just lost, 33,000 Marines to a mandated vaccine that just got unmandated, and they can't come back.
Yeah, see, that's stupid. But you can't chalk that up to just stupidity. They wanted that.
That happened through all of Obama administration. He replaced every single person in charge of nukes with his people. They took out one of NORAD's guys for ethics because the dude gambled in Vegas with $20 his wife gave him. Not a habitual gambler. Like literally in Vegas for something to do with his actual job that he took his wife to Vegas with him for. And he got in trouble for gambling at a gambling house legally with not even his own funds. Not to mention all the bullshit that's also around with the going around OSHA violations and in a green zone. Take down that picture of titties. You could be offending somebody invading the camp and seeing it while they're shooting at you.
Well, that's just an idle hands problem is really all that is. And we have a lot of idle hands problems. We've become so comfortable that we literally tilt at windmills because we're making shit up to go on about because we have to have people that do something. So we give them stupid shit to do. This is the folly of excess.
No, that's intentionally fucking with morale. Because you have to pay somebody to go out there and do that.
Well, that's my point. Is that they have to give somebody a job. They have to give somebody a job to do. So that's
Well, no, they have that job, but you have to pay them to go out and do that job. That's a whole nother level. That's intentionally making it uncomfortable for things like um, you your every denomination corpsmen can't have crosses up because they're offensive. They're every denomination. Cross is a big one. There's a cross, a fucking menorah. There's a well, just take the cross down. You're fine with the menorah and the stars and everything else of the other races, but the other religions. But take that cross down. Never mind the fact that we issued the Navy Cross and all sorts of other things because you don't want to be offensive to people.
We need to go back to being offensive.
Absolutely. I also, if we're getting rid of Roe versus Wade and Casey, I'd also like to see getting rid of the marriage.
NFA.
NFA, yeah, too. That too. No, what Clinton did to screw over the Mormons and the Muslims, defining marriage and restricting it to one man and one woman. There are religions out there that are not monogamous, and that's right up there with it.
Yeah, I just don't think the state has any business in the marriage game at all.
Yes, but yeah, all right. So Roe versus Wade, 10th Amendment issue. I'm saying marriage, First Amendment issue.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying if we're gonna go back and fix the activism, let's fix the activism.
Well, I mean, this all comes down to less government is better.
Yeah.
Overall,
Mm-hmm.
the states are their own issue, but yeah, the 10th Amendment should be the arbiter of what the feds do, not the 14th.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't the this isn't the Quran. It's what comes first is most important, not what comes later. Damn, what's that called? Arboration?
Arbitration,
No, arboration. It's
planting trees.
arboristing. No, abdication.
Adjudication.
No,
What? I have no idea what you're going for.
but I appreciated your confidence. It's if it's said earlier in the Quran, but it's corrected later in the Quran. What happens later in the Quran, supersedes what happened earlier.
Oh, I don't know what the term for that is.
It might be abdication, but I don't think so. Thanks, Obama. My cigarettes keep going out. Shaming people for being too sensitive. Yeah, I am fully for shaming people for all sorts of things.
Yeah, harden the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Like I used to get in trouble for calling my nephew a sissy, and when he came out as gay, I was like, yeah, I probably should have called you a sissy more. But he did this big thing. You know, he turned 18. He's like, Uncle Jason, I'm gay. I'm like, Charlie, I grew up with you. I know you're gay. like, I appreciate us having this conversation, and if you need to talk about your sexuality, we can talk about it. But you did not reveal any type of a big secret. There's actually the story, and it's was like 10 years before it hits. We're at my aunt's house and we're sitting on the front porch, and him and his friend are out there. They're dancing, doing stupid shit, drinking juice boxes. And he turns to his friend and he goes, "You want to do cheers?" And I turn to my brother and go, "Your son is so gay." And he goes, "Shut up." And then he holds out his juice box and he goes, "Cheers!" He goes, he thought he was gay. And he goes, "Let's dance." It's like, yeah, I do. Like, your kid's gay. And, like, at any point did I love that little bastard less than I did? No. That's my nephew and I love him. And I think that's a real problem is that he felt the need to come out to me. Like, I've never once told him who or what I'm dicking or introduced a girlfriend as a girlfriend until he was well into his teens, and then he was part of my my wedding party when he was in his mid-teen years, but I didn't point to her and go, "That's what I sex." But he felt the need to come out to me to tell me what he sexes, which I'm assuming is nobody because he's a really shy guy. I went in and I paid for his like I gave him the money to get his driver's license, and he didn't use it. He was over 18 when he got his driver's license. I was like, I was 15 and a half when I got my driver's license. Like, I had to wait to actually be able to drive. Like, how are you? Like, I just can't imagine that.
Well, yeah, no, that's just a generational difference thing. My older stepkids didn't get their licenses till they were 18 either, and it's not a thing that they desired. It's not a thing that they strove after. It's not something that they for whatever reason, be it cell phones or computers or whatever, they just didn't feel the need to get out and away like we did when we were kids.
Oh yeah, I was a fat kid, and I still drove probably 15 miles, like a bicycle, not drove, but biked 15 miles a day since I was 12.
Yeah, for whatever reason, kids they just don't need to get out like we did.
I take that back. I lived in Michigan. I would bike 15 miles a day. If I lived in Tennessee, I would bike 25 miles a day, but somebody's picking me up and driving me home. Because I could bike down the mountain. I'm not biking back up this fucking mountain.
Right.
That's a weird one, Steven. I get the putting it back where you got it, but handing it over to the cashier for them to put it back is just shitty. So it's, hey, do it right or do it really, really awfully. But if I saw someone put back ice cream like on a shelf instead of in the freezer section, or something cold on a shelf, oh yeah, they'd hear it from me. But other than that, I don't really care too much either way. But do we have anything going on in Florida? Any groomer related fuckery or no? I can. Yeah.
Disney apparently is putting out a series about trying to justify grooming. I think I saw a blurb about that either on the news or on Twitter.
I saw something Timcast related to that, but I honestly couldn't give two shits. It's ABC, so it's a Disney parent company,
Right.
kind of thing.
It's still Disney.
Yeah. They always do that, though.
Yeah. Again, the stuff that Tim gets outraged about and, puts content on, I pick and choose now. I don't watch everything because a lot of it's just nonsense.
I do it all. I'm so invested in Elon getting Twitter, I can't help it. I can't help myself.
Don't be surprised when he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But don't be surprised when he comes back and buys it for cheaper.
Yeah, he's done God's work in making them pull their hair out.
Oh, no. I think he needs Twitter.
Oh, I do too.
I don't think he wants Twitter.
I would just won't be surprised when he doesn't get it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's closer to it. I think Elon, he doesn't want Twitter. He needs Twitter. He's got the Boring Company for building travel underground.
Mm-hmm.
He's got SpaceX to get you to Mars. He's got the satellites to connect the two. And now he needs a platform for micro communications that can travel between the two for communication purposes. And that is why he bought Twitter instead of becoming a major stakeholder. He needs the infrastructure. He needs Twitter. And he's going to fix it, and he's going to make a profit.
Yes, that is for sure. He could actually make Twitter legitimately profitable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was having a conversation with my buddy Josh the other day about military surplus and like the people who think it's the best out there. Like, if it works for the military, it works for us. If it works for the military, it's made by idiots for idiots to last barely any time at all. Like grunts are stupid. It's object oriented. They have 10 million of these things. They need the bag to last until they can get to the next supply place where they can replace it with another bag.
Yeah, I got a vet buddy of mine who posts that all the time. Where he's got his favorite meme is, this starry-eyed look of a FUD, basically. Oh, it's military grade, and then the haggard vet is like, oh, military grade, fuck that.
Exactly. Later, Maynard. We are wrapping it up, huh? I promise. Yeah, like
Night poet.
Poet. Sorry. Yeah, they're like, no, military grade's not the like. I own some. I own an Alice pack, and it will last forever. But I also have like 6 pairs of Alice straps for the pack itself because it's not the best. But like, there's certain things you just cannot fuck up, and an ammo can is one of them. A lensatic compass is another one. But so certain things are absolutely great. Others are me no stupid.
No, the stupid ones end up dead.
Yeah, you survived. You survived, and there was a whole Obama administration. You must have been doing great. But yeah, like there are gas masks that are made to be put on after you've already been exposed, and that you just get the job done after that. Mostly Russian, but still. Like, this just keeps you alive long enough to finish what you were ordered to do. You don't survive it. But I'll tell you what, I own more Woobies than I'm comfortable admitting for somebody who didn't serve. think I have 5. And 4 of them are in woodland camo. I don't even own anything digital. I've got one that is it's a whoopee, but it's an honest to God poncho liner. Like, I can wear it with my poncho instead of just a blanket. I can wear it while I'm wearing my poncho because it's got a hood in it. And then I got a set in black for stealth camping, and I've got a set in woodland for my car, and I've got a set at home and one in the bug bag. And there's nothing better than finally getting comfortable at night and then sliding into a new position. That's less comfortable. But it's not like there's a lot of stuff on the civilian market that isn't a wool blanket. So I can see what's.
You got any predictions of what's going to go down this week, if anything?
So when is the Supreme Court coming out with their statement on whatever fucking day it is? When is that?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Well, at some point they're coming out with some statement this week on something they ruled on, and they got a bunch of ruling in the bag already. So I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, the Roe thing isn't the only thing that they were going to announce. They have like the whole last session rulings that are going to be coming out. And I think those usually come out either late May or early June.
Well, yeah, but they've got something they're coming out with like now, which is mid-May. Sometime this week. I wasn't paying attention to it when I heard it. So, good luck there. No, I don't have any. Like, I can't predict stupid. Shit, I can't predict smart. I mean, on a given day.
Well, like, yeah, just like what's going to be the most likely thing to take the news cycle?
Yeah, I had more ponchos than I had whoobies, and then I found the poncho liner that was also in the shape of a poncho. So I bought that, and then I became even with whoobies, and then I bought a set in black. So I went to 4s for horrors. But no, actually, I have a 5th poncho too. I I got lazy, and I have my poncho and liner rolled together in one of my kits, and I stuck an additional poncho in there to put over the bag in case it rained, which isn't particularly helpful because my fucking knees down are going to be soaked. Because the pack's fucking gigantic. But no, I can't think of anything that's coming down the pipe. That I think Marilyn Manson's taking the stage this week in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp clusterfuck, and that should be interesting. It'll very much remind me of the early 2000s. And
I thought that was going to be wrapped up. I thought that was almost over.
It is. He's one of the last witnesses. Which will very much remind me of Columbine. All the blaming he got for that. See, what bothers me about politicians and the blame game and stuff like this is I got into a fist fight that ended up landing me in martial arts. Uh, I won, but I still got to put in martial arts in case I had more fights. I won because I have a 5-year older and 7-year older brothers. So I got beat up better than he did as a kid. Um, and as soon as I started taking martial arts, the last thing I wanted to do was fight somebody anymore. Because if I came to a workout with a fat lip, I had to explain to somebody I not only respected, but had a little bit of fear of. Um, so I was very much kept in check in that scenario. And I can't imagine uh, somebody who plays a violent video game and suffers no consequences for it because it's a video game, wanting to start getting violent in real life. So it's ignorant to blame something that gets rid of your uh, urge to do so on being what caused you to do that thing. There's no violent music on this world that can make me punch somebody, except maybe bagpipes. And I will only want to hit the bagpipe player.
Oh, dude, you need to get down with the new progressive, bagpipe and a didgeridoo and koto drum bands. That's where it's at. That's the future of music.
No, but like it's obvious to me when the left says something that they put no thought into it whatsoever. Like do you have no analogous in your life that you can compare it to? Like if I'm shooting zombies in a game, maybe I'm going to think about shooting zombies outside the game, but I'm not going to shoot anybody thinking they're a zombie. Like, honest to God, the last thing Rambo wanted to do when he got back to the countryside was go to war with anybody. It took an entire police force going to war with him for him to go to war with the police force.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? And that's just because he doesn't work for a pharmaceutical company. Give Hobbs a chance. He'll get that number up. Just it's somewhere between stupid and ignorant and dumb. But what do you expect from politicians?
Nothing good.
Nothing good, anyway. Yeah. What's next week's movie?
Let me check. The Hunt.
Ah, that's right. Uh, by the way, if you haven't seen The Hunt and you do see The Hunt, that's Ethan Suplee. So I saved you 20 minutes ago. Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, he doesn't look like himself. Well, he looks more like a good version of himself now, but
Yeah, I was gonna say he always looks like himself. He just looks different than he did.
yeah, he really did a lot of work on himself, and it shows, and it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, he did a lot of work on himself to get there in the first place.
Well, a lot of Cheez-Its.
Heavy lifting. Yeah. Ironically, heavy lifting brought both forms to life.
That's true.
So, mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's just a likable dude.
No, he's not. God, no.
In real life, he is.
No, I'm in the movie. Even the guy I did like, I still would have shot him. Yeah, I'm like, fuck that guy too. they cast like a real life hero, not a real life hero, but like one of the heroes of Smallville, just to be slaughtered early on too. So I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. And Eric Roberts' daughter. Like, you absolutely think she's going to be the star? No, it's a good movie. I did all my training at the Great Lakes Naval Reserve, and it was awful. Two weeks, got shin splints 5 times. No, I didn't. I did get. I was gone for 3 days for shin splints, but thankfully somebody else got them too, and they weren't fat, so I felt better on myself.
Let's get out of this thing.
You sure?
Yeah, I got kids to go regulate. I'm sure they've gotten into something they shouldn't have.
I did. I was actually under supervision. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week, hopefully, if we're here. The world hasn't exploded. All right. Good night.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation.